Well, hello there. These reviews have been very late, and trust me, they are only gonna be later. And also, now is not exactly a good time to review these chapters, especially since that very accidental fire in Kyoto. I mean, that was cruel. Why did that even happen? That is so rare to it happen in Japan at all. I wonder if that arsonist actually did that just because the Fire Force anime was premiering. But well, once upon a time, I tried to review these chapter reviews, and don't get me wrong, I have not disliked them a single bit. It's just, however, that the translation was coming at such an irregular time. I don't have time anymore to review these. I am behind in so many reviews that I'm almost have to say that I'm gonna go on a hiatus on all of them. But the problem is, with the Google Hangout canceling, I can't live stream them anymore because I still haven't learned the new live stream of it all. But I'll try to get these before the 1st of August. Note, try, no promise. But enough about that. This is the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, and these are chapters 148 to 149 when it to for the Fire Brigade of Flames, or Fire Force as you all know it. Basically, this is a relax arc, so to speak, after the very huge scare that was the Hajime arc. I don't know the real name of this one. Maybe it's the Crisis of Faith arc or Iris's arc. Either way, in chapter 148, Iris begins to have emotional weight in her shoulder or heart as she begins to question everything she has been believed in, the ways of the sun god, or everything that the preacher may be the god. So later on, when Obi says that they have to go to the place to bless the tools weapons, Shinra goes along with Iris, and here we actually see very deep down that yes, it's very somewhat apparent that Shinra has a crush on Iris. Well, Iris is a very beautiful girl, but it's also a bit apparent that he really cannot barely contain himself in front of Iris. And Iris even shows some comedy moments here, such as like doing this, and apparently some have some muscle strength because she carries so many tools things. And the next chapter of 149, though, Shinra runs into one of the old people of Company 1, who reveals that he still holds faith because people have to have faith. But here he also explains something very confusing. Something about the line that... wait, what is that? Sorry, what is that word? People need to have faith to survive, but then it turns out that the preacher may very well be what's that word? The real god of it all. I'm sorry, I am sounding a little bit confused. It's the fact that he almost acknowledging that the preacher could very well be the sun god, especially since the preacher is worshipped so much, yes, like a god. But it's also saying that it is most apparent that it wants to destroy the god. As he leaves later on, Shinra realizes that maybe Iris is having a crisis of faith as well. Later on, they visits the grave of the sisters that used to raise Iris, as well as that sexy lady, not Hine, that is not her name. Did I seriously just forget her name? I think I did. Well, either way, it turns out that that sister has also been to this one, because as much as she's a dominatrix and femme fatale and whatever she's being, she sincerely did love all the sisters that were together with him. Then suddenly an infernal breaks out as it is a father. In chapter 1550, Shinra and the sister helps put that thing down as a nun just screams out in despair that the father prayed to the sun god all this time and yet he was still cursed by the flames. Thus our prayer mean nothing. And so Shinra asks Iris, does she have a crisis of faith? And yes, she does that. But it's not over the fact that she may be worshipping the sun god. Well, it is that, but it's more of the fact that she has always prayed because she has always wanted to believe that it could help people. And she believes that if she prays to what she thinks is the preacher, then she is making the people head to their death, and she doesn't want that. But Shinra says to her that she is not the one who brings them to people to death. He is, because he's a firefighter that will force to put down frame people so they cannot hurt others. And says that he will never get used to that. But also saying that Captain Obi believes that there is a real sun god. To have real faith is to be there, and he says that the 8th Brigade needs to have Sister Iris to stand there and help them with everything, because she is the sunflower of the entire place. A very beautiful, heartwarming moment, as even Iris thanks, well, she always thanks, but she thanks Shinra for his heartwarmingness. It is in a very beautiful, artful place there. So Shinra decides to carry the instruments as well as Iris as they head back to the 8th Brigade, and Iris promises that next time she has something to bother, she will talk to Shinra. As he says that he will love that we see a picture, though, of the first pillar. You know, they're still not exactly explained. Why does the first pillar look a lot like Iris? I mean, there's some speculations, maybe that Iris is not so sweet as she appears to be. Or it could very well be that the first pillar is the mother of Iris. Or, I mean, a distant ancestor, because it's actually not known how long have that first pillar been there. Well, Tokyo Empire was established a long time ago, so, and if that was the first pillar, then it can't be a mother or even a grandmother. Maybe it's a distant ancestor to Iris. Or the flame pillar is just putting up a face of Iris because Iris is, to Shinra, a very important person. Finally, we have chapter 151, and that is just plain simple fan service comedy. As we see Assault again, still humiliated over his, well, defeat by by Tamaki's hand. And let's just face it, that wasn't exactly a defeat. It was kind of embarrassing. This has tried to watch pornography and many things more in order to, well, get used to nakedness. But no matter how much he confronts Tamaki, he can never get used to it. So in the end, as it has one, what I presume is final encounter with Tamaki, apparently it's revealed that it's not that he can't do that because he can't handle her always getting naked. It's apparently because he has fallen in love with her or something like that. So I would just want to say that the final chapter, yeah, that is nothing but pure weirdness. But the rest of this arcs, really, chapter was good there. An emotional moment there and a day in the limelight for Iris. Granted, we still didn't see more, but it's apparent there that she has always believed and followed the church. For her faith to be there, it is almost questioning, who is she anymore? And I think that is also another thing she's worried about. Who is she anymore? She's always believed in something, and now that belief is shaken, and she's afraid she is dooming people for it. It is still not giving any straight answer on what the preacher is, nor of the fact that what Shinra says can, in the end, just encourage her. But it is a moment of Shinra and Iris. And if Iris wasn't a nun, then I would have actually called this a ship-tease moment. I mean, it is a ship-tease moment, but Iris is a nun, so I don't think she will ever fall in love with Shinra. But Shinra really likes Iris, but it's not known if he likes her that much. But he does have erotic dreams of her. So it's all in all just a starting moment, heartwarmingness, and a little bit quality there. What's coming on the next arc, though, is the real answer. But again, it will be some time before I review that. But I will try. And again, until I catch up to the latest chapter, all reviews will be in one bundle. So you will have to summarize quickly for that. Give me your thoughts if you have any.